guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the last of the products I'm going to be reviewing from my December subscription services. So today we're going to be talking about this product from Tarte. This is the Tarteist Lash Paint. As I usually, butterfingers. As I usually do, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the company, I'm going to be talking about the product, and then I'm going to be giving you my thoughts because I've been using this for about 3 weeks or so, but I'm also going to talk about it specifically in comparison to something that I feel is sort of a dupe from the drugstore, and that is the CoverGirl Total Tease mascara. So while the review is mostly going to be about this, I'm also going to give you some suggestions, including this one, of places you might be able to find a similar product that does a similar thing for less of a price. So to start with, I'm just gonna say really quickly, I know I haven't posted a video in a couple of weeks. I'm really sorry. Sometimes life happens, and it seems to have happened a lot in December and January. There was a really bad flu going around this year that I had the great luck of catching, and I was just laid out for like a week. It took a little bit of time to come back from that, especially since I was catching up with like my actual job and things that I do there. And also I wanted to let you know that the winner from my 1,000 subscriber giveaway was chosen. We've been in touch. She has chosen what it is that she wants to receive from the different options that were given, and I'm super excited that it's actually a viewer from the Philippines. So that is exciting to me, and she seemed super excited to win, which just makes me feel so good, and I love doing that video so much, and I'm so excited to get the giveaway over to her, and thank you to everybody who entered. Now we're going to talk about Tarte. And this is going to be a little different than usual because the first thing that I'm going to do is link down below the review that I did a while ago. It's one of my most viewed reviews of the Tarte Maracuja oil. I was calling it Maracuja oil in that review, and I think I might have been saying it wrong. That was a really long review. I talked a lot about Tarte at the beginning of it. So if you're interested in knowing more about Tarte as a company, just sort of in a very general way, I'm gonna link that review so you can watch it. But I thought what might make more sense to talk about today is a little bit of the current events happening with Tarte. I try to keep up with what's going on in the beauty community, in the beauty industry, and I watch a lot of other reviewers on YouTube. I try not to watch reviews of products I'm going to review so that I don't get influenced in any way. But if you watch any reviews lately on YouTube about cosmetics, you've probably seen reference to the issue and the problem that was Tarte's release of their Shape Tape foundation. So I would say probably one of the best known products from Tarte, the one that's talked about the most, is their Shape Tape concealer. I've never used it for a couple of reasons. Is I don't have super dark under eyes. I don't worry that much about concealing, so I don't need something super heavy duty. And also originally when Shape Tape came out, it was exclusive to Ulta. We don't have Ulta up here in Canada, so it just was nothing that like grabbed me at first because I couldn't easily get a hold of it. And then like I'm happy with a lot of the concealers that I use that are at a lower price point. But because that concealer was so popular, Tarte decided to release a foundation line. But when they released that foundation line, I want to say maybe about a week, 2 weeks ago, this is the shade range from it. So you can see if you are not a pale person, you don't have a lot of options. If you are basically African American, African Canadian, anything like that, you don't have like any choices in here. And not only that, it's ridiculous because if you look at the pale range, it's almost like the shades are indistinguishable from each other. So why on earth would you make a shade range that is just completely excludes people with darker skin tones, deeper skin tones? And it's not like Tarte is some little startup company that has no resources to do this. Even if they only kept the number of shades that they released originally, they just could have made not so many crazy pale shades. And it's just, it feels like there's no excuse for that. And especially when you look at this year, this last year being sort of a lot of focus on, like, Fenty Beauty came out with, what was it, like 40 shades? Even Huda Beauty's foundation, I think, came out in like a huge shade range. It just sort of seemed to be catching on that you start out with a place that is inclusive of everybody. So that's what I'm gonna say, is that it turns me off of using Tarte products a little bit. And that's disappointing because I love Tarteist lip paints. It's one of my favorite lip products. And also I was in the middle of testing this when it happened. So it sort of threw me off a little bit. Not what I'm going to tell you about this, because I'm going to give you my honest opinion on how this performs as a product, but it did make me start to think, okay, what could be an alternative to this if you choose to not support Tarte as a company until they get their crap together and consider that it would be nice to include every woman or every woman and man who wants to wear your products. Don't just cut out a whole bunch of them. So all of that ranty part being over with, let's talk a little bit about this product in particular. So this product right here is $30 Canadian. It is a black mascara. It comes in one shade. You are going to be getting this in Sephora most likely if you are here in Canada. And I'm gonna sum up what they say about this, because mostly they talk about it being jet black and they talk about it being volumizing. They do mention length at one point in the description, but they're mostly talking about volume and being a dark, dark black mascara. So they say that it is a jet black, volume-packed mascara so anyone can master the tart of the fringe. And they go on to say that it is ultra black, it is volumized color with one stroke for thicker, sexier looking lashes. I'm gonna skip over some of the stuff they talk about. Triple black painted mineral pigments, that it softens and nourishes your lashes, creating glossy saturated definition with no flaking is one of the promises that they make in here. And they talk about the custom sculpted paintbrush features flexible molded bristles. It's weird they call it a paintbrush, it's not brush in any way. So that they grab and lock even the tiniest lashes, coating them from root to tip. And basically they say that how to use this is use it in a zigzag pattern from the base of your lashes to the tips. And if you want extra volume, you do 2 coats of this. So I'm going to show you an up close of what they talk about the brush being like, because I feel like there's really 2 categories of mascara. You either have the kind like Lash Paradise, that is a fluffy fiber bristle brush, which I think really adds length and volume, but it does that in a way where you are more likely to have clumping your lashes together and more likely to get clumps of mascara. And on the other end of the spectrum, you get something like this Tarte brush, which is a molded stiff plastic where you've got all of these little ridges along there, or hard plastic bristles, basically. And what I find with these, or at least my experience so far with these kinds of brushes, is that you don't get quite the oomph of the volume and length that you get from the bristle ones, but you're not going to have your lashes clumping together. You're not going to have chunks in there, because this really is like a comb that goes through your lashes. So when I was using this, I was thinking about other things in my collection that would be comparable to it. And I realized that I sort of feel like this CoverGirl Total Tease is not 100% trying to be a dupe, but let's even take a look at these bottles here. I mean, you've got the kind of bottle where it actually narrows at the base and then is wider at the handle here, and the handle is a different color than the rest of the tube. And same with the Total Tease. You've got this sort of narrowing to the base of the bottle with the handle here, which is thicker and is a different color from the rest of the tube. And that was the first thing that got me thinking about, I wonder if these perform similar to each other. Now, I did do an entire review video on this, and I will link that below, and it does have a different bristle pattern on here. This is the weird one that has sort of the bristles on one side and that little almost toothbrushy looking thing sticking out, but it is still the molded plastic kind of bristles on the end of this brush. And I'm going to zoom you in and I'm going to apply these mascaras because I have no mascara on right now. I also chose not to put on any eyeliner today, and my eyeshadow is just very light shimmer so that you can really see my lashes standing out with this. So let me zoom you in and then I will put these on and show you what I have noticed. So now that we're close up, I'm going to start with the Tarteist, and I'm going to actually start with my lower lashes and then my upper lashes. And I do have to say that I love these hard plastic molded brushes for doing lower lashes. I find it's much neater. You're much less likely to hit your skin, to get sort of gobs of things on there. I really enjoy these kinds of brushes for lower lashes. So I hope you can see that that does a good job of coating those lower lashes, and it does it relatively muss-free, although I do have one little sort of chunk on the end of that lash that I'm just going to move away. And that's my lower lashes. So let me now coat the upper lashes. So that really did add not so much length, but a good amount of volume, and I hope you can see that as compared to the eye with no mascara. And even then, oh, after I said all that stuff about how it was so clean on the lower lashes, it's totally gotten on my lower lash line. Oh, I swear this doesn't usually happen when I'm doing my makeup day to day. But I also don't necessarily always coat my lower lashes with mascara because I find that makes a more dramatic look than I want to do in my day-to-day life. So on the other eye, I'm going to do the total tease. And again, I'm going to start with the lower lash line. So you can see it, again, coated the lower lash line quite well. And now on to the upper lashes. And there we go. So somehow when I sit down to do this on camera, I end up doing my mascara so much worse than I do when I'm just doing it at home. So looking at these two, I would say that this side has more volume and the lashes are a little bit more separated on the Tarteist side. However, honestly, in other days that I've tried this, they've looked exactly the same. So part of it does have to do with application, and really looking at myself here, there is more volume on this side, but is it really that much more to justify paying twice as much for the mascara or 3 times as much? So what do I think of this? I think it's a good mascara. I really do enjoy these kinds of molded plastic, hard plastic brushes. I like the kind of separation that it gives my lashes, and I like that, although this went a little wrong, it's generally a little bit more foolproof than some of the more fluffy bristle brushes. But I also think there are a lot of different drugstore brands that are doing the same thing as this. So I showed you the Total Tease one there. And that brush is really weird, I have to say, with just the bristles on one side. But I would also say, take a look at the CoverGirl Clump Crusher. I mean, this one right here is an old mascara, so I can't wear it anymore. But if you look at the brush on here, it is another hard plastic one, but it's just packed full of bristles. And because it's got that curve on there, it's even better at getting those lower lashes. It's a good mascara. I really like the way that it does my lower lash line. I like the way it makes my lashes look. But would I recommend this over some of the other ones? No. Like I would say if I was going for sort of my best duo of what to use, I would go for the Clump Crusher for my lower lashes because I just find that it is the most precise. It just separates everything. It makes them really nice and dark. And then Lash Paradise on the upper lashes because it makes it so full and fluffy and voluminous. If you want to buy this, there's not going to be anything wrong with it. You're going to like it. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake, it stays in place, and I think that it's a good product, but I think for $30, if you have the budget to buy it, go right ahead. But if you decide that you want to save some money and maybe you don't want to support Tarte while they are not paying attention to everybody in the community, then there are definitely other options out there for you. I know this video and this review is a little bit different because I think this is a good product. I just want to give you other options if it's a brand that you don't want to support right now. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I would be interested to hear from those of you who have used this before, those of you who received this in your BoxyCharm subscription in December, what you think of it. What you think of what's going on with Tarte right now. Is it a company that you're going to step away from for a little bit, or does this kind of thing not impact your buying decisions? I would also love to hear what you think would be a dupe for this. I have a couple that I think do a pretty good job, but I'd love to hear what you think. And you can leave that in the comments down below. I do try to respond to every comment that I get. Sometimes I get a little bit behind, but I do try. And I really love hearing your feedback in the comment section. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you can do so by clicking on my face. I'll make it appear right here, and I'll make one of my other videos appear here. I'll actually put the Total Tease mascara video here so you can watch that. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!